Hello, this is going to be a 190 Q&A test. Plaintiff attorney is Mrs. M.R.S. Patrick, P-A-T-R-I-C-K. And defense is Mr. Yaron, Y-A-R-O-N. Again, plaintiff attorney Mrs. Patrick, P-A-T-R-I-C-K, and defense is Mr. Yaron, Y-A-R-O-N. This is going to start off with plaintiff attorney. Ready? Your Honor, this appears to be a photocopy of a copy of a two-part check type thing. I'm wondering if they have the original of the check. That would show whether or not it was negotiated in the bank. Do you have a copy of that? No, I do not. The Orange County Teachers Credit Union, I believe, uses automatic deposit. They do not issue actual checks. That's why they use the automatic deposit. Okay, Your Honor, under the best evidence rule, I think the check receipt itself would be the evidence that we're looking for. I don't know so far that she's shown an excuse for not having that. I believe that's a sufficient excuse, Your Honor, and we believe that this witness can authenticate these actual copies from her pay stub sufficiently. I'll overrule the objection. Let's move on. What was your total expenditure on the spa? $8,980, I believe, Your Honor. And after these folks separated in June of 2010, how much did you get back from Carrie since June of 2010? Your Honor, if I might help her out here, maybe by taking a look at her deposits, she might. I'm talking about money she received from your client. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of about $900, Your Honor, that she's paid since she separated from Mr. Haim. Yes, I made the agreement with her that both her birthday and Mr. Haim's birthday, there would be $200 deducted. She did not need to pay in May or September, and also November and December was to be considered a Christmas gift to the two of them. According to your records, what's the balance right now that you feel that you are owed? Oh, about $6,500. About $6,500. Prior to separation, did they make any payments to you from November of 2009 until June of 2010? Only the deductions for Christmas and Mr. Haim's birthday. Next question, Ms. Hendrickson. Your Honor, would you like to have copies of the deposits? I don't need them unless Mr. Anderson wants to see them. I have no further questions of this witness at this time, Your Honor. Mr. Anderson, cross-examination. When did you agree to purchase that for them, the jacuzzi, bar, and gazebo? I beg your pardon? When did you agree to purchase the jacuzzi and related items? We had discussed it during the time that they were living with us, with me, and that was when? May 15th through the first part of September of 2009, 08. I beg your pardon, 08. 2008, that's when did you live with them for a while, them being Mr. and Mrs. Haim? Yes, I spent 9 weeks when I had sold. I retired in June of 09, sold my condominium, and I stayed with them. First week I was to be there so they could go on vacation to take care of the children, and after that, Carrie asked me to stay until I got my rig. I live in a motorhome now, and I left on the 7th of November of 2009, and I had gone out to the home. It was either August 31st or September 1st of that same year. I believe it was 9 weeks. In June of 2009, you were retired, is that correct? Or you had just retired, is that correct? Yes. You had some problems, if I understand correctly, getting your retirement benefits paid, and that sort of had a cash flow problem at that time, is that correct? No, sir, it is not correct. You didn't need to borrow any money from? No, I did not. Did they ever give you any money during that period of time? I believe a previous loan to pay off hospital bills, but Carrie Haim was repaid at that time. How much was that? $2,200 or $2,300. And when was that debt or obligation incurred, or when did you loan that money that was for? 07. The hospital had been calling Carrie at home for payment. She would refer them to Mr. Haim, and he was trying to negotiate the bill down. May I approach, Your Honor? Yes. I'll show you what I've marked as exhibit number 20. You can turn that page over there. Can you describe that briefly for me? That is a copy of an exhibit I don't have, counsel. What is that? It's repayment of the loan that I had made to them to pay off. What is that document that's there? A check to me in the amount of $2,300 signed by Carrie. If you can turn it over on the back, is that your signature? Yes, it is. And turn it back over on the front and tell us the date. July 15th, 2009. No further questions. Anything further? Yes. Now, in regard to this check that you've just been shown, you specifically recall that this was a repayment of a loan you had made to the Hames. Is that correct? That's correct. And do you specifically recall that that loan had been made for hospital care for Melody? That's correct. It was the charges that were over and above what I believe the insurance paid, and it was for both Carrie's care and Melody's. In other words, the birth. Okay, now while you lived with Mr. and Mrs. Haim, did you contribute to groceries and that sort of thing financially? I bought groceries. I bought food that was brought in from takeout places. I didn't feel I owed them anything since they had lived with me for 5 months twice prior, their whole family. Now, while they lived with you, did they contribute to groceries? They purchased the groceries and paid the utilities in the '09 instance. I don't remember the year that they were with me before. It was just the 3 of them at that time. I believe they paid their own groceries at that time. I do not remember if they paid the utilities or not. Now, when you stayed with the Hames, did you park your RV in the driveway? After I got my RV, I would park in the driveway while I either babysat or visited for a day or 2 or holiday. Okay, did you also leave some of your personal belongings at the Hames home when you... Yes, I did. When you retired? Yes. Do you recall specifically what some of those items were? Your Honor, relevancy as to the issue. What is the relevancy? Your Honor, it's not particularly relevant to the issue, but it is relevant to the property distribution. I can recall the witness when we get to that issue if you'd like to. We're not going to do property issues, counsel. We have issues concerning the gazebo and support and attorney's fees. What property distribution are you talking about? Well, there's some differences regarding distribution of property, but if you don't want to get into that today... Counsel, I'm trying to be as patient as I can in this case. If I have to, I'll appoint a referee and appoint both people to advance the costs. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be reasonable. Now let's move on with the witness. If you've got a problem with the difference of division of property, let's bid it out. I don't know what your problem is, but we'll talk about it in just a minute. Let's finish with this witness. There's no more questions for this witness if that's the case, Your Honor. Anything, Mr. Anderson? No questions, Your Honor. Thank you for coming in, ma'am. Okay, go ahead, counsel. On this issue, any further witnesses? No, not on this issue. I'd like to call Mr. Hames briefly. Mr. Haim, raise your right hand, sir. Actually, he's been sworn. Go ahead. Mr. Haim, did you enter into an agreement to purchase a jacuzzi? Yes, I did. Was that with... Yes, it was. I'm going to show you Exhibit 18. Can you describe that briefly for me? That was the actual contract with Cal Spas dated 1/29/09. I'm going to show you Exhibit 19. Can you describe that to me? That is the receipt we received from Cal Spas on 1/29/09 for the deposit. You didn't take delivery of that spa until October. Is that correct? That is correct. Why is there a difference in time? One, it was on sale, and that's basically why we bought it at that point. I'm going to show you Exhibit 20. It's been testified by the previous witness that that's a receipt for, yes, the receipt. Can you tell me the circumstances surrounding that receipt? Yes, as Amanda had testified, she moved in with us approximately June. She did have her house sold July or August. The house didn't even close for a while, where she could get her cash, and she stayed with us. I object, Your Honor. This is not within the personal knowledge of this witness. Sustained under 352 as well, Mr. Anderson. Did Amanda loan you guys the money for this spa? Yes, she did. I take that back. It wasn't a loan. She gave us the money for the spa. Okay, we have a word list. We've got Carey Haim, capital C-A-R-E-Y, Haim, capital H-A-I-M. Orange County Teachers Credit Union, capital O-R-A-N-G-E, space, capital C-O-U-N-T-Y, space, capital T-E-A-C-H-E-R-S, space, capital C-R-E-D-I-T, space, capital U-N-I-O-N. So again, that's Orange County Teachers Credit Union. Mr. Haim, I spelled Haim. Melody, capital M-E-L-O-D-Y. Amanda, capital A-M-A-N-D-A. And Cal Spas, capital C-A-L space, capital S-P-A-S. And that concludes our 190 Q&A test. Good luck.